in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sale because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sale because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is...
Brand new week, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. Glad you're in. Real America's Voice on the East Coast, 8 p.m. Slick Rick's here. He's going to do some sports. Rick Delgado's got the news. Paul Nolan's got some news as well. The boys are all here on a Monday night. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. And, of course, you, the live from Studio 6B audience. Glad you're in, everybody. We'll get to all of our friends here in the chat on social media, wherever you're watching, YouTube, X, Rumble, Getter, Kick, Facebook. Appreciate all of you jumping in here. 2 hours a night, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10, Real America's Voice. Hope you had a great weekend. Slickster, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
How was your weekend?
It was fantastic. I got to enjoy that United States victory over Canada. After they booed our national anthem, I was out of my bird. I even posted, which I really don't post. I was so excited.
I was as fired. I told Paul this. Am I supposed to say we talk over the weekend, or you're in my trunk again? No. I told
to this guy.
I told Paul as I was talking to him that night, I don't think I've ever been as fired up about something as I was for that game.
I was out of my mind.
Oh, man,
around.
I was so fired up. When that puck dropped and they dropped gloves, I almost jumped through the TV.
That was awesome.
3 fights in the first 9 seconds.
I almost jumped through the TV.
How great was the interview with Kachuk? And he goes, the interview goes, what do you say to people who say it was premeditated? He goes, no, it wasn't premeditated, but my brother said he wanted to fight first.
And we didn't discuss it, though.
Oh, man, it was so good.
It's great.
So good.
That
I was so happy for the
blast.
boys. 3-1 spanking.
Boy, they just closed every gap. No time and space for Team Canada. McDavid getting crunched. Crosby getting crunched.
I was yelling vile things at the TV every time we scored. I don't know what was. It just can't help yourself.
After that national anthem, how could you not?
No sport can do that like hockey.
No.
Hockey is like football and basketball combined in this contained tank of hate.
Oh,
Big
man.
night Thursday night, boys. Big night Thursday night.
And I'll be up in Boston, too.
Yeah, Beantown. Yep.
You know it's going to be fire in there.
I hope U.S. Americans sing the Canadian national anthem on the top of their lungs. No better insult than just to sing it the whole way through. Because if they boo it, then they drop to their level. I hope, come on, Boston.
Oversee it. I hope President Trump shows up, too.
That's a good idea.
They're trying to get Trump to that. I know he's got a lot of things to do, but...
Yeah, well,
you know what?
That'll be something else the left can complain about. Oh, he's spending a lot of money traveling. I've never seen anything like this. Really?
Really?
Every president we've ever had has traveled the same way on weekends to these events.
Except for Biden. He never left the basement.
Yeah, well,
he go to the beach.
It still costs the same. Air Force One to the beach, it costs the same.
And also all the aides cleaning his diaper.
Yeah, exactly. So, Delgado, how are you?
I'm good.
Did you watch the hockey?
Yes,
then?
I did.
Okay,
How could
very
you
good.
not?
Really?
I mean, it was awesome. Especially, like Slick said, as soon as the puck dropped and the gloves flew off, it was just like, the good old days and hockey are back.
When McDavid scored the first goal, I was I was just saying awful, vile things. And then every time we scored the next three, I was yelling vile things too, but in a positive way. Suck on that! Oh God, I was off the chain.
I know we all shared it at different times. The AI of Sullivan's press conference.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to put it on my social media, but there was too many F-bombs in it, so I opted out.
Yeah, I wasn't
Even
sure
for you.
I wasn't sure
I'm
if that
trying
was
my best
authentic
to
or-
not curse anymore.
What was my favorite line in there was something about you Eskimo humping something.
Yeah, something like that.
Something or other. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I wasn't sure if
good.
it was authentic or not, or else I would have sent it.
yeah. Okay.
Right.
Sure.
So we
Well,
didn't
you
play.
had to ask Grok if it was authentic.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
So what else did you do this weekend, Paulie? Anything?
Yeah, no, I had a lot of.
Did you watch the Daytona 500? Did you see Trump at the Daytona?
Yeah.
I did not, but I did see the highlight of his badass
Badass
limo.
what?
Can I say that?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, that limo is unbelievable. So that was cool.
Beast. Yeah.
Yeah, he really, boy.
I wish he had actually done the pace lap with it, not just kind of the thing they did. Just really do the pace lap with it.
How about even just
that-
get involved? Just get involved. Just race.
I can see him doing that.
Jim, when he got on there, this is your favorite president. Yes. Boy, there was some of the pictures coming out of there. Air Force One, man, coming in there low over the track when it was.
Well,
when
yeah,
he came in, it was just.
it was almost like Top Gun, like he buzzed the tower with Air Force One when he flew in. What'd they say, about 800 feet above the track?
That was.
And
like,
what a
that's
reception!
insane.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't know who the girl is who does NASCAR interviews, but good for her, by the way. Nice to see somebody walk up there and interview the president with some respect for the man, the office, have a smile on their face, ask just nice, neutral, fun questions, let them talk, and then not try to jump in and give us some nonsense about what you think about that. It's just nice to see. She did a great interview, the girl. I don't know who she is, but I don't watch, a ton of NASCAR. But I think she said that she had interviewed him before 5 years ago in the same place when she started the interview, and she was great. And the president was great, and he gave great answers, and the reception was fantastic. And there was his little granddaughter who looked as cute as a button with her little Dorothy Wizard of Oz red ruby slippers on there. And I thought it was just great all-American scenes out
I
of
thought
Daytona.
she stole Rick's shoes. I was.
Yeah,
The ones I'm wearing tonight.
yeah.
You're right.
Could have been.
They could fit, too.
Probably. Well, at least
But
there was
just an all-American kind of weekend, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
That's great.
No Let's
All
Go
the way
Brandon
around.
moments at NASCAR, right? That was
No.
nice.
None of that. So, and of course, we needed something on Sunday afternoon to change up the feeling from Sunday mornings, which, of course, are the Sunday morning shows, as I've told you now for better part of 10 years, that they suck. Those morning shows are abysmal. And the hosts of those shows continue to fast-pace their steep decline into the toilet of journalism.
Journalism.
Yeah, quote unquote. Which, of course, and the worst of the worst, I always thought was the girl who did NBC's Meet the Press, whatever her name is, but the absolute dumbest and worst host is clearly now Margaret Brennan. And it's not even really debatable at this point. Not that the other ones are much better, but she really is just a flat-out moron. She's just an illiterate, historically illiterate moron, as she proved on Sunday, like almost nobody could come up with this. And the fact that CBS has said, as far as I know to this moment, unless I missed it today, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to what was going on, CBS has said nothing. She hasn't resigned, which is what she should do. She hasn't been fired, which is the second thing that should happen if she didn't do number one, which is resign. And not a person from CBS has said anything. Not a colleague, nothing that I've seen. Has anyone seen anybody say anything other than other media talking about what a historically illiterate buffoon she is in this comment she made to Marco? You got the Secretary of State in front of you. You got the world on fire all places. And she somehow tries, because J.D. Vance slapped her around and just smoked her when she had him, which I complained about why he was going there. By the way, if you remember at the time, why anybody continues to give this woman oxygen from the right is beyond me. She's an idiot.
And I think that's why they do it. I mean, look at the audience. The audience is what now about
11 people.
You're right, but it's that small percentage that we still have to kind of enlighten. Be like, look, these people are morons. They're lying to you. Look at the evidence, and we just show them the evidence. Let them make their own determinations. But Margaret Brennan is a doofus. I mean, I don't know if she got called into her boss's office. If they said, you know what, in light of how stupid you are, we might have to let you go, because this has got to be the stupidest.
I thought they encouraged stupid.
Exactly. That the opposites happened. She's actually.
But the way she kind of married this free speech into the Holocaust, it's like only a lunatic or somebody really stupid would do that. She doesn't look like a lunatic. She probably could be.
Oh, she does definitely look like one. She absolutely looks like one. She is the single most condescending person in her high-paid news desk there that I've ever seen. She did it with J.D. Vance. I think I commented it at the time. She gives these condescending, like, I know more than you, and then you say something, and then she says, well, and then she gives you this dissertation as if to say, like, you're not really as a high intellectual level as I am. Let me spell it out here for you. But thank you very much for your 2 cents. She does this condescending thing all the time with her guests. She tried to do it. She did it with Rubio with this ridiculous comment about free speech causing the Holocaust.
Right. Do you want that cut? It's
let's watch it. Yeah. And you can see the condescending just as she does this intro to it. And Rubio gives her a fantastic answer, by the way.
Well, he was standing in a country where free speech was weaponized to conduct a genocide. And he met with the head of a political party that has far-right views and some historic ties to extreme groups. The context of that was changing the tone of it. And you know that the censorship was
specific. You know that. Exactly. Right. And you know that.
That's their little trick. They do that all the time because they want to slip something in hope that say, well, you know that, and then move on to something else in hopes that you don't rewind the tape and say, wait, you're full of it right there. I do not know that. Nobody does.
Yeah, I know you're gaslighting me. I know you're gaslighting your audience. I know you're treating your audience like they're stupid and they have never read a book. You're wrong. You're making this up because it makes you feel good about your ridiculous position on free speech.
Right. And again, with the J.D. Vance, when we played that, she tried the same trick. She does it all the time. They all do it. They all do it. But you know that. Or they'll slide something into, but we know the facts are this, and you know that. And then they'll try and continue on. But J.D. Vance slammed the brakes on her, and Rubio does the same thing.
I haven't seen this clip, so I'm loving this right now.
She's just condescending. She's it's
she's not
antagonistic. Is the word that she really is. in this holier than thou, like I hold myself up on this intellectual pedestal that nobody can compete with me on my show, and let me bring you on, Secretary of State, so I can educate you. That's the way she comes across with all these guests. Like they're there for her to educate them. And she's a moron, effectively.
Basically.
Rubio's got to be listening to this in his ear. And when we didn't get a straight-on shot of him, but he's got to be staring in the camera, listening to this, thinking to himself, what am I listening to? Go ahead, Aaron.
About the right.
No, I have to disagree with you. Free speech was not used to conduct a genocide. The genocide was conducted by an authoritarian Nazi regime that happened to also be genocidal because they hated Jews and they hated minorities and they hated those that they had a list of people they hated, but primarily the Jews. There was no free speech in Nazi Germany. There was none. There was also no opposition in Nazi Germany. They were a sole and only party that governed that country. So that's not an accurate reflection of history. I also think it's wrong. Again, I go back to the point of his speech. Okay, the point of his speech was basically that there is an erosion in free speech and intolerance for opposing points of view within Europe, and that's of concern because that is eroding. It's not an erosion of your military capabilities. That's not an erosion of your economic standing. That's an erosion of the actual values that bind us together in this transatlantic union that everybody talks about. And I think allies and friends and partners that have worked together now for 80 years should be able to speak frankly to one another in open forums without being offended, insulted, or upset. And I spoke to foreign ministers from multiple countries throughout Europe. Many of them probably didn't like the speech or didn't agree with it, but they were continuing to engage with us on all sorts of issues that unite us. So again, at the end of the day, I think that people give that is a forum in which you're supposed to be inviting people to give speeches, not basically a chorus where everyone is saying the exact same thing. That's not always going to be the case when it's a collection of democracies where leaders have the right and the privilege to speak their minds in forums such as these.
Mr. Secretary, I'm told that we are out of time.
Yeah, sure we are.
He was standing in a country where free speech was weaponized to conduct.
We'll be right back right after this.
That was good timing.
My boss said I'm out of a job. I mean,
Hey, Aaron. Are you the one that's doing the credit and the blue? Yeah, so on things like that, it should just be Face the Nation CBS. The guy whose Twitter posted it doesn't make any difference.
I started doing that because sometimes they edit the content before it gets to us.
The guy who posted it, you mean?
If they add captions, if they edit it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think of that. I don't know.
Like if we pulled it directly from CBS, that would be different.
Okay. All right. We got to think about that.
live in chat.
Chat. What's going on, chat? The chat shirt, by the way, is out today. I love it.
What does it say?
It says chat.
Oh, really?
What's going on, everybody? Racing Banshee on X. Hello, Brian on Facebook, Angela on YouTube, TikTok, Patreon on YouTube. What's going on? Les Durham says, hello, Paul Nolan.
Rumblers. My car is doing fine. People are wondering, because I have an electric car, if it's having a problem with the winter weather.
Oh,
no,
really?
it's
No?
not. The only thing that is having a problem with the winter weather is me.
the driver.
Me and my feet. I hate it.
What do you mean you hate it?
I hate winter.
Oh, I thought you meant you hated your feet in the...
No, I hate winter.
Why?
Too freaking cold. You like being this freaking cold all the time?
No.
So Drag Blacker says, remember when Rubio was hated as a neocon trader 10 years ago? That one clip doesn't change my opinion on him just yet. I don't understand him in there yet. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. We'll see. I certainly do not trust him as of yet, but maybe he brought a ton of money, a lot of donors. maybe his warmongering is a good saber rattle to make our negotiating partners a little more concerned about the likelihood of us retaliating with explosions.
Yeah,
Who knows?
plane coming.
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday, brand new week, February 17th. Happy belated birthday to my son, whose birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday.
18. Whoa.
The big 1-8.
The big 1-8.
Wow.
For him. So,
Happy birthday.
Man, I don't know where 18 years has gone, but it's gone. 18 years old. So happy birthday to him. Had a nice day last night. Nice dinner. Took him to, you know where he wanted to go, Slick? He wanted to go hit some golf balls. So we went to one of these new, we went to one of these new simulation
Oh, the one in
inside
Comac?
deals.
The one in Comac?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been there.
Oh, yeah? How
we
was
did an
that?
event there.
It was really nice.
I forgot the name of it, but yeah.
X19.
X19, right.
Is it more affordable than Topgolf? Because Topgolf, they might as well just...
None of them are affordable.
Nothing. What's affordable? Nothing.
I want to get into this business, Paul.
All right, let's do it. Because honestly, Topgolf, they might as well just call.
You got the drive for it.
Take your gold. Yeah, take your wallet. Exactly. Holy cow! And I'll tell you what, I called around.
Topgolf. I thought someone flipped me upside down and shook every penny out of my pocket. What's happening here?
I called around to every place.
Joined the country club.
Places that have 9, 10 simulators, sold out the whole day.
Really?
Sold out the whole day.
Well, you know what it was? It was terrible weather, too.
Yeah.
Oh, weekends.
It's pretty much not golfing weather for 6 months here out of the year. So
Yeah.
that's the business I want to be in.
It's like a license to print money.
That's exactly what it is.
You mean like USAID?
Yeah,
right.
pretty much.
Well, speaking of that,
All different kind of greens.
we're going to play a new game tonight here, boys.
Ooh.
Paul Nolan's come up with a new game called Real or Not. And we have some USAID expenditures, and I'm going to roll down some of them, and we're going to see if you, and, well, Paul knows and I know, so you two are the judges.
right.
And the audience.
And the audience.
Okay.
Now we're going to need them to respond.
We'll
correct?
respond with a 1 for
I'll
yes
keep an eye
and a
on
2 for no as we go through them. We'll do them throughout the show. Would you like to do one now?
Sure.
Kick it off.
Let's kick it off.
sure.
Let's see how it works.
Should we kick it off?
Yes.
Is it real or not?
Is it real or not? USAID expenditures. Let's go with this one.
All right.
$2 million on pottery classes in Morocco aimed at cultural preservation and economic development, but viewed by some as an unnecessary expense. Okay? 1 for real, 2 for not. Slick, you get your number together. The audience, Paul, you'll watch the audience numbers.
Under that last
for real,
administration?
2 for not.
1 for real.
Okay, Slick's coming in on a 1. Delgado?
Totally 1.
Delgado's coming in on totally on 1. Let's go to the audience. I see lots of 1s.
The ones are coming in.
Lots of 1s coming in. Lots of 1s. You see a 2. I see a 2. I see a lot of 1s.
Yeah.
This is an easy one to start on.
Yeah, this is, benign.
Yeah.
And all of you who say 1 are correct.
Hall, sorry it's hard to believe.
Right.
It should be a 2.
Yeah.
It should be fake.
It should be a 2, but it is a 1.
Right.
$2 million on pottery classes in Morocco was a real
How is that a
expense
thing?
It sounds like a Moroccan shakedown.
from, yes, exactly right. How about we do one more?
All right.
Let's just test it out.
Yeah.
One more.
Come on.
I'll go to the audience on this one first. 1 for real, 2 for not, or 2 for fake. What are we calling this? Real or fake?
Real or fake?
1 for real, 2 for fake. $500,000 to train yodelers in Switzerland, aiming to preserve the cultural heritage of yodeling amidst concerns that modern music was overshadowing this traditional art form. 1 for real, 2 for not.
Tricolor.
Okay.
Yolole.
You want to hear that one again just to make sure?
Yeah.
No, I'm
good.
good.
No.
$500,000 to train yodelers in Switzerland, aiming to preserve the cultural heritage of yodeling amidst concerns that modern music was overshadowing this traditional art form.
The ones are pouring in, D.
1s are pouring in. I do see some more 2s here.
There's a couple 2s are coming in.
I see a lot more 2s on this one. Interesting. And I see a lot of 1s, though.
Well, how much was spent? $500,000?
$500,000.
Only 500,000.
Only $500,000?
Only $500,000.
That sounds
I got to throw a 1 on that one.
A 1.
Yes.
Okay. Slick?
Nah, that sounds like I'm going with a 2. That sounds like a Drake's Cake yodel fake.
All right, Slick's going with 2. The audience here, I wish we had a way to total the audience as these numbers come in fast and furious.
This one's down the middle, it looks like.
It's too cheap.
Okay, very good. You guys want to know?
Sure.
On this one, Paul, do you have a guess on this one?
I'm going to say that's real.
Okay, you're going with number 1 as well?
Yeah.
All right. The answer to that one is a number 2.
Oh, it's not real.
That one's not real. But that just shows you, and that's the point of doing this tonight as we do it throughout the show.
Okay.
It's really hard to distinguish between
I didn't
real
know you were going to throw fakes. Yeah, I
and
would have
fake.
saved some of mine, and I would have. But no, that's fine.
You have one?
I sent you a bunch of them.
Yeah. Do you want me to do one of yours?
No, because then they'll know it's fake.
Okay. Right. So then why are you disrupting the way I'm doing it?
Because I didn't know you were going to chime in your own fake
Well,
ones.
you told me to come up with some.
Yeah.
Okay.
We want to be,
Well
make this
done.
fair.
Anyway, I believed it because
Thank you.
I figured they're up in Davos and
Right. It's stupid enough that, of course,
It's so unbelievable.
somebody needs money for yodeling. Of course, the USAID is going to be right.
Thank you very much.
It's stupid enough, but you took
Okay,
it for
very good.
one.
All right, let's do some.
teaching gets
I would take that.
$455,000, and
Right.
it's just it's a money laundering system. So it makes sense to me.
Oh, man.
All right, what do we got?
You know what really sold that one is my description of it's aimed to preserve the cultural heritage of yodeling, admits concerns that modern music was overshadowing this traditional art form.
Anytime you use
Yes.
the word amidst,
And overshadowing, you're in trouble.
you're really going to get
You
people.
can sell it.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's do some sports. 23 past the hour. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell and MyPillow. LFS6P is the promo code to use.
done.
Slickster, thank you. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, well, let's take a look at cut 3. Let's roll that right now. President Trump coming into NASCAR Big D yesterday. That was incredible. Roll that for me, Aaron. Look at this. I mean, we talked about it earlier. What could you say? Here he is, the president.
They booing. I was told they hated him, Slick Rick.
Huge response from the president.
What a response. Unbelievable. And, president was there with his 5-year-old granddaughter, Carolina. She caught a ride with Grandpa at the Daytona 500 as well. Catherine Hamilton of Breitbart reporting. President Donald Trump's adorable granddaughter, Carolina, caught a ride with her grandpa in the presidential limo at Daytona 500 on Sunday as well. This clip is obviously showing just the overall course. And, of course, earlier on, right before that, President Trump came in on Air Force One at about, 800 feet, they said, Big
About
D?
800 feet,
Coming
yeah.
in nice and low, like Top Gun, like we were saying in the first segment. So good stuff all around there. The president with the beast, like you said, he should have did the pace car, Big D. He should have been the pace car from the beginning. But really good stuff over the weekend. So and we President Trump getting out there. He's a big sportsman. We know that, and it was just great stuff all around. Of course, there was a delay, and the race didn't finish up till earlier today. I'll have a full report on the race coming up. But we also want to get to one other story if we can, and that was the hockey over the weekend. A 3-1 victory by the USA on Saturday night at the Bell Center in Montreal, Canada. And Justin Trudeau was mocked after saying he's damn proud of Canadian fans following anthem booing. This is Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. Justin Trudeau's attempt to curry flavor with his countrymen following Canada's loss to the United States during Saturday night's Four Nations face-off has made him even more popular, or unpopular with Americans, I should say. The Canadian fans booed the American anthem at Montreal's Bell Center in a game that saw 3 fights in 9 seconds and vicious hitting throughout. Canadians have been booing the anthem since President Trump enacted tariffs against Canada and jokingly suggested our northern neighbor become the 51st state of the United States. The U.S. won the game 3-1 afterward lame duck Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau took to X to say he was damn proud of Canada. And I took to X and also to Get a Big Day, and I said, terrific win for the U.S. I thought that was a good apropos thing. So anyway, that's a wrap in sports. 3-1 USA. Big game on Thursday night. We can't wait. Hopefully we'll be here live to watch it on the TV. And
we don't know. Do we know who the USA is playing on Thursday night yet?
No, not yet, right?
No, they're playing Sweden.
Oh, they are playing Sweden.
They play Sweden.
And then if they win that, it doesn't really matter.
Is that tonight?
They're going to be in the finals almost no matter what.
Because Sweden won. Yeah, okay. So
Sweden lost. So if there needs to be a win in regulation or a win in overtime, and I believe that bumps Canada out. So
they all have 2 points. We have 6 already.
Right, we won
we're on
all our
fire.
regulation games.
Right. All right, 26 past the hour. We'll do some more news, and we'll do some more real or fake when it comes to USAID. We get back right after this.
won 5-3.
Yes.
They beat Finland.
Right. Sweden lost.
Well,
Yeah, I didn't
Sweden's
check
playing
the
US
score.
right now.
1-0 with 15 to go in the first.
Now it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I'm surprised. Makes sense. Like so, they can't get it together. Obviously, with everything going on with the war there.
Skeetsman in the Rumble chat. Dave 3504. Marty Kin. Marty Kin wants to know what tune was that there, Fran, that you just played?
The one I just played was Hot Thang by Daniel Friedel.
Hot Thang. Hot Thang?
Hot Thang.
Hot Thang. By Daniel who?
Friedel.
Friedel.
F-R-I-D-E-L-L.
F-R-I-D-E-L-L. There you go. Hot Thang. What else? Let's see. Post an offensive meme in the EU and get arrested now. You are correct.
Yeah, how about that? She's on in the morning in CBS with that nonsense, and then CBS 60 Minutes plays a clip basically confirming everything that Vance said is going on.
Yeah.
Ooh, John Q. Public with the big tip. Thank you, sir.
Otto on YouTube gifted 5 subs. Thank you very much.
Otto.
Welcome to 5 more people who got gifted subs tonight.
John Q. Public at $10. Slick Rick, you going to read that?
Oh, no, I didn't. Hold on. Slick Rick.
Slick's not doing his job monitoring.
I'm on the other one. No, you want to Slick Rick?
Doing
you want to
Slick Rick is supposed to be over in the YouTube chats.
I got it. John Q. Public. President Trump, please, we the people need an executive order acknowledging the Second Amendment, preemption, and the supremacy clause equals national constitution. Carry. Thank you, sir, and LFS 6B.
Did I read there's also going to be a little more push towards silencers for people? The hoops we have to jump through to get a silencer is kind of crazy.
Goodness. It won't work on Slick. He just keeps talking.
Oof.
Canada won today. Someone said they played today.
Yeah, we're looking past Sweden.
They won 5-3.
Live from Studio 6B. Here you go. On a Monday night, 8:30, 30 minutes past the hour. Slick's doing sports. Doug Otto's going to do some news. Paul Nolan's got some news as well. We're playing real or fake tonight. USAID expenditures. Let's do another one here. $16.8 million to support equitable outcomes in inclusion in Vietnam.
Yes. One.
Okay, Delgado's going 1. That's for real. Slick?
Oh, 1.
1. Okay, 1 for real. Let's see what the audience thinks here on this quickly. Again, $16.8 million to support equitable outcomes and inclusion in Vietnam. 1 or 2. 1 is for real. 2 is for fake. We'll let the audience settle in on that one. I see a lot of 1s, more 1s than 2s. I do see some 2s, though, but I see a lot of 1s. All right. Well, let's do some news with Delgado, and then we'll come back for the answer on that one, 31 past the hour. News is brought to you by our friends at 7cells, 7cells.com. If you're those of you who always ask me where I get my ivermectin, 7cells is it. You can go to livefromstudio6b.com right now. On the homepage is a brand new banner. It takes you right to it. From our friends at 7cells. Delgado, what's going on?
All right. Well, today, of course, is President's Day, but a little history behind that. Cut number 7 you can play as well as a history. We talk a little bit about President's Day. 1879, United States made Washington's birthday a federal holiday, but it had always been celebrated right from the time he was president till about 1879, and then it became an actual federal holiday. How did it turn into President's Day? That kind of happened a little bit down the road, down around 1951. They wanted to make President's Day the day to celebrate, of course, Washington and Lincoln's birthday, because they were within a couple weeks of each other. So they decided we could name it President's Day, and the idea was to create a holiday that did not recognize a specific president, but rather celebrated the office of the presidency. The recognition, of course, for Lincoln's birthday was for February the 12th. Of course, George Washington's Day had always been the federal holiday, and people are now making a statement to say we should bring Washington's birthday back as well to make it its own day, because he was, again, the first president and one of the founders of our nation. But, of course...
And an all-time butt kicker.
Yes. But what do Democrats like to do? Well, they like to rewrite history all they can and try and downplay anything that we could be proud of in our nation's history. So cut number 4, here they are twisting themselves into a pretzel, trying to figure out how they can get rid of President's Day, cut 4.
All right, so the headline here is presidential historian says President's Day is ridiculous. We should scrap it? What do you mean?
It is a little bit silly. I mean, we have had some real duds, so I'm not sure we really want to be celebrating all presidents. And the tradition actually comes from celebrating birthdays,
can't hide their contempt
which
for the
is
country.
a celebration that we inherited from celebrating the king. And I'm just not sure that that's exactly what we want.
George Washington.
I'm not sure that we necessarily want to celebrate the people. I think that we want to have a certain respect for the office. I totally get that. And some have done extraordinary things, but by celebrating all of them, I do think it causes us to think of the president as somehow other, when in reality they are a citizen just like everyone else.
So you mentioned this earlier in the show, the idea that Trump posted something just over the weekend where he quoted Napoleon Bonaparte saying, "He who saves his country does not violate any law." It feels like exactly the example of what you're saying we should push against.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
What do you mean? Why are you thinking? I mean, you played it.
I know.
You picked it.
I was fully expecting an explosion at some point.
Okay, good.
Well, you got it.
That's exactly right. I mean, but there she is trying to.
I showed as much calm there as Marco Rubio did with Margaret Brennan.
Wednesday, when I'm back, I would really like to try a new game. How long can we play an awful clip for before we'll have an over-under bet before it gets to smithereens?
I know. By the way, $16.8 million to support equitable outcomes and inclusion in Vietnam. All of you who put 1 in the chat is correct. That is real.
Yes.
Very good. If you're keeping score at home, that's 3 now we've done. So see where you are, but very good. All right. What else is going on in the news, Delgado?
Right,
I mean, so first of all, I don't know who sits in the room and says, okay, what are we going to do for the B block here? What do you guys want to discuss here? Well, let's do a thing on presidents. And who comes up with that segment? Who comes up with that segment, really?
Well, as she said, there was a historian, a presidential historian.
Oh, yeah. Michael Beschloss, another genius.
Says we don't want to celebrate the person. We just want to celebrate the office. But she fails to point out there have only been, there's a very small club of these people who have been president. Only 47 have been president.
Think they would have had the
46.
Think they would have had this discussion between 2008 and 2016?
No.
Definitely not.
That's always the barometer to ask yourself.
Yeah.
Anyhow, in other
King
news,
Obama.
of course, we were talking about this earlier in the first segment about free speech in Germany and in Europe in particular, or I should say Germany in particular. 60 Minutes did a segment last night on Germany's approach to policing online speech. And
basically cementing everything J.D. Vance said, by the way.
Pretty
that
much.
Margaret Brennan in the morning was so seemingly confused about.
And ignited a fierce debate on both sides of the Atlantic after it aired in the U.S. on Sunday. Critics have called the country's laws Orwellian. Tyrannical is another good word. Maybe Nazi kind of flies back in there if you're thinking about Germany. While defenders insist they are necessary to prevent hate-fueled violence. And, of course, you can't stop hate-fueled violence unless you've got the police with you and you bust into somebody's house to grab their computer because, well, they've been posting things. Here is 60 Minutes going on a ride-along with the German police, cut number 8, and they burst into this person's apartment because, why, Paul? They were posting memes that could be offensive to some people. Cut 8. Check this out.
The word hate.
It's amazing.
Oh my!
Just to curb speech.
Yeah. It's basically the curb speech. Here they are on a sit down with three of the people who are in charge of policing what you say in Germany. Here they are, cut number 9. Check this out, policing the internet, and they're talking about the hate speech. Listen to this. Forever, we can't have that insult sticking around forever. If you remember, the debate over Germany's online speech laws gained traction after Vice President J.D. Vance, speaking at the Munich Security Conference last Friday, accused the European nations of suppressing free speech and marginalizing right-wing parties like the Alternative for Germany. Here's cut number 10. Again, talking about posting and reposting. Basically, what caused that 6 a.m. raid across Germany that we saw a few minutes ago. This is time. Just for speech.
Oh boy!
This is again
they're doubling down on what England wanted to do, and this is all stuff that was in the USAID promotion. If you guys haven't seen Mike Benz on Rogan, it's the best 3.5 hours I think I've ever watched. They talk about the promotion of this corporate inflicted censorship on everyone through the pressure that they put on all these giant corporations and even mid-sized corporations that they will not get their advertising dollar unless they follow these anti-free speech laws.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I believe Elon Musk was suing about, because they had this group, this organization that kind of coordinated all the advertisers and said, okay, if you decide you're going to advertise on X, we're gonna cut you off from other funding. And all of a sudden, now that all that's been coming out, he's on the offense about it.
Well, forgive me for not knowing the name of the company, but the main media company that buys and sells the advertising for Fox News has just bought the platforms that hold Tucker, that hold Bill O'Reilly, not that he's overly relevant, and a couple other big mainstream conservative voices. And, they're saying that it could end up having an effect, that they might have bypassed their way underneath because they bought the marketing divisions of some of these online advertising agencies. So you got to keep an eye on that as well, because they won't stop. No one's going to stop until they control the speech. To control the speech, you control what people buy and think.
Here's the and of course, everything we've seen in those two videos, the American media and the American left has a real pull towards those same positions.
Yeah.
If they could get away with those clearly here in the same way, all in the name of making things better, of course, they would.
Yep.
Yeah. And here in this last clip, number 11, this is the scariest. This is the most step on a rake part for me, because Josephine Ballon, or Ballon, whatever her name is pronounced, she actually points out exactly why half the people don't post online anymore. It's because of these policies, but she doesn't understand that she's actually making the argument against what she supports. Here's cut number 11. Rated at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Because you're going after everything that moves.
Yeah.
You're proving J.D. Vance's point, cementing everything he said.
These people are sick.
Just amazing. So there you have it, coming from 60 Minutes. What's going on in Europe and what we can expect more of. More CCP coming this way.
All right, more sports, more news, more real or fake. News with Paul Nolan as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down on a Monday. Glad you're in. A lot more to do. We'll wrap up hour 1 when we get back right after this. Busy here. Chat. What's going on, my friends in the chat?
Oh, there's some super chats.
Oh, look at this. We got a couple.
Time for Slick Rick Super Chat. What did you call it?
Slick Rick Super Chat Summary.
Okay.
Summary.
Actually, somebody gave me that name in one of the chats, so credit to whoever that ghostwriter was there. I forgot who it was. But John Q. Public coming in with another one, Big D. $5 chat. Text and historical tradition of firearms regulation. Justice Clarence Thomas, NYSRPA versus Brune, 2022. John Q. Public going history on us tonight again. And then we got Joe in Las Vegas. Joe, Las Vegas, $99.99, Big D.
Damn.
My Angela says we have enough room in the house for a sphere visit by the team and all the Italian food you can eat. Wow. Look, that's eat the sausage. Look at that.
Who said it? What was the first? Who said it?
That's Joe in Las Vegas. No, Joe and Angela.
Oh, Angela said?
My Angela, yeah, his wife.
My Angela, got
says
it.
We have enough room in the house for a sphere visit. Look at that. They're in Las Vegas.
Boy, enough room for
you could save money on a hotel
for the cast.
Yeah.
Did you get a sarcastic prodigy in there?
Well, they didn't say the whole cast. They just said they had enough room. They didn't get into specifics.
Slick, did you get sarcastic prodigy?
I'm getting him right now, Delgado. There we
Delgado,
go.
Can you let Slick do his job?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying. I don't want you to forget about him.
Listen there, man. There we go. Sarcastic prodigy. $10. Christians praying in Europe is prohibited and they are persecuted. Muslims and criminal migrants preying on defenseless children is protected, tolerated, and encouraged. Yep, sarcastic prodigy. I'll give him a like on that one. Good one, $10. That was a nice pickup there, Big D. About $115 there. Thank you for those super chats.
Thank you very much to this wonderful audience. It's a great way to support the show. Super chats is a great way to support the show. Did they just score?
Yeah, it was a power play. Well, maybe it was right after the power play, but they were on a power play. They just tied it at 1. Wow, that's the thing. We were looking past it earlier, too, because I hadn't checked the scoreboard. And, we were already looking at Thursday night's game against the Canada.
Tweet Potato on X.
I had
What's going on?
Dates wrong, right?
Oof.
We got more super chats. How do you get
Tweet
up
Potato says, I'm getting the shirt, Damon. Which one?
Oh, good
Chat. I like the chat one. Came out nice. Simple. Sometimes you don't need that much.
No.
Sharp. That pink pops. Pow. Slick would look good in it.
Come on, we'll
get you one, Slick.
I'll take the pink one. Come on.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B. We'll do some news here with Paul Nolan in a second. We'll do some sports with Slick. Let's do another real or fake USAID expenditures. Let's see here. $3 million to start a giant pumpkin growing competition under the guise of agricultural innovation with the added benefit of providing shade for small villages. $3 million to start a giant pumpkin growing competition under the guise of agricultural innovation with the added benefit of providing shade for small villages. If you think that's real, you can give me a 1. If you think that's fake, you put in a number 2. Slick's thinking about it. Think hard about that one. I'll give it to you one more time. $3 million to start a giant pumpkin growing competition under the guise of agricultural innovation with the added benefit of providing shade for small villages. If you think that's true, put in a number 1. If you think that's fake, put in a number 2. And we'll let the audience stew on that one while we do sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, Big D, let's get to the scoreboard. NCAA men's basketball in action right now. Number 3, Duke, leading Virginia 41-26, 51 seconds to go in the first half. Kansas State taking on Utah at 9 p.m. and Arizona taking on Baylor at 10 p.m. And right now, NHL 4 Nations face-off. We're in the round robin, a game that we were looking past earlier tonight, but there is a game right now. USA taking on Sweden, tied at 1. Sweden has just tied it up with 5:49 to go to the first. Paul Nolan made a very good point. Could the USA be looking a little past this game with a date already in place now for Thursday night in the TD Garden against the Canadian team?
And look, let's be honest, Sweden wants this one more than anyone. If you're a betting man, this would be a good spot to take Sweden tonight, only because, this is their last hurrah.
They might be resting their guys, and Sweden wants to make some noise there as well. And Canada, they finished off Finland earlier tonight, 5-3. When your opening scorer was Connor McDavid and your closing scorer was Sidney Crosby, you had a good game there. So they won that game in front of 17,238 lucky fans who got to watch the game on President's Day. So good stuff there. But we will keep an eye on that big game Thursday night. Can't wait for that. And NCAA basketball under action. Like number 5 Arkansas, 12-2 over Washington State. That was a final from earlier today. And TCU tops San Diego 7-6. Little softball and baseball getting underway there. Big D as well. Want to keep an eye on that. And in case you're worried, Stephen A. Smith makes his decision on presidential ambitions. This is Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. The 2028 presidential election season is far, far away, yet Stephen A. Smith, ESPN's notorious hot take artist, has already decided whether he will run. A poll last month showed Smith trailing former Democrat Vice President Tim Walz by 1 percentage point in a field of possible candidates for the Democratic nod in 2028. What was the total percentage points? 2? That strong showing prompted Smith to muse about a possible presidential run on his podcast. However, the ESPN talker tells TMZ Sports he is not interested in making a run, Big
Oh,
Day.
yeah.
No, he's
what
gonna
a surprise.
Yeah, well, he says, I ain't trying to run for office.
I think he came in behind, Britney Spears. Come on.
Well, he's not trying to run for office or anything like that, Smith told the outlet in New Orleans last week. I love talking politics. I love talking about things, not just sports. If the American people want to sit up there and say, yo, we want Stephen A. to run, I'm not going to be mad at that. I don't know what the hell they're thinking. I ain't qualified, but if you want to go ahead and entertain it, you can go ahead and entertain it. Citing President Trump's lack of political experience before winning the presidency, Smith quite, he's inspired all of us because if he can be president, a lot of us could be president. Yeah, I think he's speaking totally out of his hat there. So
keep dreaming, pal.
Yeah. All right. And on that note,
any of us could do what you do. You can't do what he does.
Yeah.
Exactly. 5:15 to go in the first. USA and Canada, not of that one. That's a wrap in sports, Big D.
For the real or fake USAID, last one, just to give you a couple of things from the audience here. Bible Destination says, just give you a little hint of which way you're leading. Two fake pumpkins don't provide shade and they don't support agriculture. If this was solar panels, I'd say it was real. Okay, so people really thinking about this.
That's good.
Again, $3 million to start a giant pumpkin growing competition under the guise of agricultural innovation, with the added benefit of providing shade for small villages. So
I'm gonna go.
Slick, did you have a final on that one?
Yeah, I don't think it has a ghost of a chance here. I'm going to go with 2. I'm going to say absolutely not.
All right, Delgado, what'd you come in on?
You had me at a mist. That's the tell. So I'm going to go with 2.
That's funny.
Frivolous spending.
That word wasn't in there, but I'm glad I had you.
Read it again. Read it again. There was one word.
Under the guise?
Under the guise. That's what it was. The under the guise phrase.
Yeah.
The mist was the first, the other one.
Oh, okay.
That was a tell.
So you're a 2?
I'm a 2.
Okay, Paul?
I'm going dos.
You're dos? Okay. I think the audience mainly had doses.
Don't tell me.
Although I do see a lot of 1s.
Okay.
But that one, unfortunately, is a 2.
Yeah.
That one's fake.
Yeah.
So
under the guise of being a 1.
Under the guise in the midst of
right.
Misty River.
Sure.
Whatever you said.
Me too.
Okay. All right, very good. 8 minutes till the hour. Let's do some news with Paul Nolan. Mr. Nolan, what's...
Well, we were speaking about free speech.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was great when J.D. Vance, I don't know if you guys saw this, he fires back at far-left reporter Mehdi Hassan, who attempts to school him on free speech. I don't know if you guys saw this little exchange they had, but Vice President J.D. Vance unleashed a scorching rebuttal to the far-left reporter. Vance, who had just delivered his powerful speech in Munich, as you guys know, was kind of getting trolled somewhat by Mehdi Hassan. And he said, hey, J.D. Vance, I know you're busy lecturing the Europeans on free speech, but have you seen this? And he is referring to Mark Caputo's tweet. President Trump's decision to limit AP reporters' access is as much a fight over the Gulf of America as it is a protest that the White House advisors say is years of liberal word choices that AP's influential style book has spread across mainstream media. And Vance had this lovely reply of, yes, dummy, I think there's a difference between not giving a reporter a seat in the White House press briefing room and jailing people for dissenting views. The latter is a threat to free speech. The former is not. I hope that helps. So once again, JD is just standing up with common sense and reason. And it's so nice to see the White House is not going to kowtow to the absolute lunacy of the left and, the endless propaganda Operation Mockingbird 2.0 machine.
Yeah, Mehdi Hassan, who I think has been released from MSNBC. Was he not fired or let go?
Yes, he was.
That's like next level. Craziness lets them off too easy. It's not even the word. It's just vile.
Yeah. Lunacy.
Yeah, lunacy, vile human.
It's just amazing. They can't even think out these arguments. They don't even think what a response might be. There's absolutely no critical thinking whatsoever from a guy like this. And obviously all these Sunday morning pundits that have just become useless.
I think the Sunday morning shows, like most of the left right now, are still cannot catch their footing with anything.
Yeah.
I saw an article today in American Greatness, and it's entitled Trump Speed. And it says, President Trump's not moving at light speed. He's not moving at warp speed. He's moving even faster. He's moving at Trump speed. And the left doesn't know what to do. And that little subheading is the point. They cannot find their footing anywhere. Yeah. So they're just going for... on social media, the attacks are just, and you notice they have zero legs, no legs. Pete Hegseth was supposedly drinking bourbon at the podium this weekend during his speech. That lasted about 2 hours, and it was gone because it got no traction. It got no footing. Now they're talking about the expense that the president to go to Daytona, the expense to fly to Mar-a-Lago on the weekends. Like every president hasn't traveled the same way for the last 50 years on Air Force One, wherever they go for the weekend. Now they're trying to latch on to the cost of what it might be, as if he's doing something different than every president's done.
But $500,000 to pumpkin agriculture is fine.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Providing extra shade.
Of course. Zeldin found $20 billion.
All right, quick hour one, hour two. Coming back live from Studio 6B. More real or fake USAID. What's your record so far on the 4 that we've done? Are you anybody 4-0?
Hard ones are coming.
Hard ones are coming.
I'm undefeated. Redemption.
At least he picked something, yeah.
Yeah, right.
At least he can pick something.
Slick's 4-0, he said. So
I'm 4-0. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, you got me on the Ricola because I didn't know you were going to pop your own fake ones in. I thought that you found something.
Yeah, I got the yodel.
But
I don't know.
yeah, a couple of them were fake.
Pumpkin.
Yeah, the yodeling thing.
The rest of mine are real.
Oh, look at this. Sweden is Swiss cheese in here.
What's going on here? Well, like you said, it's going to be hard for them to get up for this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is their
Paul
their Stanley Cup right now.
You nailed that, Paul. You were right about that. You picked up on that. I hate to see them lose this one. It'd be nice to just run the table here, right?
Yeah. I'd almost rather see them,
I could
have a little letdown here and
humble them a little bit.
Yeah.
Humble and get them on their toes.
Farmer Brook, my son didn't have any basketball this weekend. He doesn't have the playoff game till the 27th.
Oh, big playoff game, huh? Who are they playing? Do we know yet? Not yet.
Oh, that's a scene.
We're playing Longwood.
Farmer Brook, always appreciate you chiming in on my X handle. Thank you, sir.
Come on.
Delgado in the 30th Amendment. Yep.
We got super chats, no super chats yet.
Hello, Tim on Facebook.
Oh, Joan Jackson says she's 4-0. I'm 4-0 in the YouTube chat, Big D.
All right, very good.
People phone. Good job there.
That's good. It's hard to do this, given some of the things we've seen. Feeling warmer now?
Oh, yes, I am. Oh.
That's right, Drag Blacker. I said that to
Connie Lou on X. Hello, Connie Lou.
Spacey. Get a...
It's weird. I'm sweating up top. My feet are freezing here. It's this.
Cold, right?
It's the cement floor here.
The fact that they don't put the heat on.
They don't got heat here. They'll kill the equipment.
What are you talking about? This is the hottest show on TV. That's why they don't need no air conditioning. Come on.
You're in.
You got to cool us off here. Come on, Delgado. You walk in with a tank top on, for God's sakes.
How's the back, Damon? Back's
good question.
It was better today. A little tight now. Driving here in the car didn't do me any good, but it's all right. Damon loved the NBA All-Star game. No, I did not, actually. I thought LeBron really...
I like Mac McClung. That was about it Saturday night.
Did you see that pregame?
All right, 9 o'clock, hour 2, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Monday night, February 17th, 9 p.m. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's doing some news. Paul Nolan's got some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. We're playing Real or Fake tonight, USAID expenditures. We got a bunch more to go through there. Slick's going to have some more sports. Delgado will have some more news. Speaking of sports, Slick, did you watch any of the All-Star Weekend festivities? I thought it was kind of a
mishmash.
No, I'm trying to think of a word without cursing on LeBron. I thought it was just a bogus move for him to back out 2 hours before the game, dude. How about like 5 days before the game? So some young kid who's a rookie or first, second, third league could have played.
Yeah.
Do what Giannis did. Giannis said, I ain't going to play. I'll show up. I'll wear my uniform, but I'm not going to play. And they put Trae Young in his place. He could have done the same thing.
Exactly.
Guy walks in there in street clothes, spends the whole day, a whole week there, and then 2 hours before the game says, oh, by the way, I'm not playing. I got to go.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you.
Kind of Bush League, man.
Bush League.
I was more interested in the SNL 50th than that, watching that instead.
Well, I didn't watch Sundays. I didn't watch the Sunday stuff. I did watch Saturday night, the dunk contest.
Yeah.
And the 3-point contest.
Mac McClung.
Which neither one really blew my, no pun intended here, Delgado, blew my socks off.
Wow, I thought the kid jumping over the car was pretty
McClung
cool.
was a standout, yes. Right. But the rest of them were awful the first round. They all missed every dunk.
I know.
What do you mean,
No, I know. They win.
Terrible.
I'm just chiming in with those windmill dunks.
It's not like the way it used to be.
How about Zach LaVine and what's it, just a couple years ago, guys brought the house down. Every round, it was like one after the other.
And McClung got all 50s. He was hanging high, boy. Oof.
These guys this year, these man, they were awful.
Yep.
McClung just was thinking, this is the competition?
3 in a row. First time ever. First time anybody ever.
So, all right, 2 minutes past the hour. Hour 2, live from Studio 6B. Glad you're in. If you're in the chat, make sure you follow us on all our social media, and I do mean all of it. Instagram, Facebook, X, Rumble, Getter, wherever we are. Make sure you follow on all channels because we go live in certain places, certain times. YouTube, make sure you follow there. We're trying to get all the numbers on the social media up. Facebook approaching 120,000. So appreciate that. We want to get that YouTube up to 50,000 as the next mark, and then 100,000 after that. So follow us on our social media. Head over to livefromstudio6b.com as well. Make sure you sign up to be a member there. So a couple things here. This Trump speed thing, I think, is probably the most accurate kind of picture of what's going on right now with the left. And they just can't find their footing. They're grasping at anything they can to try to get footing on something. Meanwhile, every poll that comes out, as they try to demonize DOGE and what Elon is doing, of course, there's all the tapes of Obama basically introducing the same exact thing back when he was president, because they all talk this game that they want to cut government, but none of them ever do. So they can't get any traction there. You know, they've got their judges who are doing their jobs, but now they're getting a couple rulings that are going against them. So this Trump time, I thought, was the most accurate prediction or prescription or description of what's going on with the left right now, and that is that they are scrambling. They're scrambling for a leader. They're scrambling to find their footing. They're scrambling to make logical arguments. And every poll shows that voters, for the most part, in overwhelming numbers, number one, approve of the president so far doing his job, and they approve of the things they're doing. They approve of the cutting. They approve of the going after. They approve of shining a real bright light on all this fraud. The numbers don't lie. So the media can lie, and the left can lie, and Hakeem Jeffries can continue to lie, and they can try to send these talking heads out to come up with some logical something to say, to try to say to their people, but none of it is resonating. None of it is resonating. And most of it absolutely sounds foolish. And let me give credit to this person. Jim Nels says, over the past several weeks, we've seen President Trump and his administration enact a series of transformative policies and laws reshaping the federal government, bolstering the economy, asserting America's foreign power, protecting women, and reinforcing the country's national security. Trump's actions and initiatives reflect his commitment to reducing the federal bureaucracy. It's funny, I saw a video. Someone went through and found a bunch of videos of the left in the media, and they took out the word democracy and put in the word bureaucracy, and it all makes sense when you listen to it that way.
Yep.
President Trump's actions and initiatives reflect his commitment to reducing the federal bureaucracy and promoting American interests both at home and abroad. These goals were also part of the president's agenda during his first term. The major difference 8 years later, well, President Trump understands how to operate in the Washington swamp, and thus he is operating at Trump speed. Since being inaugurated on January 20th, Trump has signed dozens of executive orders, hundreds now, including ending birthright citizenship, curbing DEI and gender radicalism in the military, imposing tariffs, pardoning the January 6th prisoners. Trump has used the threat of tariffs to help support the deportation of illegal aliens in the U.S. Countries such as Colombia, Venezuela, El Salvador, Guatemala have agreed to accept people from being deported from the U.S., including convicted criminals, even offering to accept deportees who are not citizens of their country. Trump used the threat of tariffs to force Mexico and Canada to help the United States stem the flow of both illegal and legal immigrants and drugs, especially fentanyl, into the country. Canada is going to station 10,000 troops at the northern border. The Mexican president is deploying 10,000 National Guard soldiers to the American southern border to help mitigate the flow of drugs and illegal immigration through the U.S.-Mexico border. In exchange, the Trump administration will pause its 25% tariff on Mexican imports for 1 month and work to quell the flow of arms south of the border. New confirmed Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth approximately sent 1,600 American soldiers deployed to the U.S. southern border to help build barriers, support law enforcement, and augment the 2,500 Army forces that are already there. As an added bonus, the Army announced that December of 24 was its best recruiting month in 15 years, seeing approximately 350 people join each day that month. President Trump has also proposed establishing a U.S. sovereign wealth fund, reversed devastating Biden energy policies to help drive American energy independence, and eliminated multiple government diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Trump is having his cabinet confirmed at a faster pace than he did in his first term, or that of President Joe Biden did in 2021. One of President Trump's most effective and controversial actions has been the creation of DOGE under the leadership of Elon Musk. DOGE has come out swinging, demanding that federal employees actually come to work, number one, in order to collect a paycheck. DOGE made headlines this week by exposing waste, fraud, and abuse of USAID. Thanks to the work of Mr. Musk and his team, we now know U.S. taxpayers' money was being spent on such national priorities as funding left-wing news outlets like Politico. DOGE is now looking at the Department of Education, the IRS, and NOAA. But perhaps the most progressive move the president has made at Trump speed is his proposal for the U.S. to take over the Gaza Strip, stating the U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, will own it, will have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal, the Riviera of the Middle East. Trump has also floated the idea that an entire population of the Gaza Strip be settled in other countries as the Strip is rebuilt. Will he rename the Gaza Strip Mall, or perhaps Trumplandia? And we haven't even discussed Trump's idea that the U.S. take ownership of Greenland or integrate Canada as the 51st state. The president is moving at Trump speed. He's moving so fast, the left isn't sure which of his actions to even try to protest. Banning men and women's sports, taking over the Gaza Strip, forcing government workers to come to work. The left simply doesn't know what to do right now. Senator Chuck Schumer is so confused, he found himself supporting and defending the IRS in one recent anti-DOGE rally. President Trump is not moving at light speed. He's not moving at warp speed. He's moving at fast speed, and that's Trump speed. And the left doesn't know how to react.
Yeah,
and I think that's accurate.
It's amazing. He kind of insulated himself with all this. Everybody's like, "Oh, you just can't create these people and let them do all this federal stuff and look into where we've been spending money." Actually, he didn't. It was President Obama who did. He just renamed it. It's already codified. You can't really stop him. So that was one brilliant stroke that I saw one author pointed out. And this is what do you call it? Pollster Frank Luntz. Him and his hair say that Biden Clinton voters who voted for Trump love how fast he's moving. So Democrats are embracing the speed of Trump. Here's cut 6. Again, Frank Luntz and his hair. Check it out.
We wanted to have you on because you do a lot of focus groups. You really get behind the numbers, the poll numbers, to the sentiments of voters. And it's so interesting. You've been speaking with a number of voters who were Hillary Clinton 2016, Joe Biden 2020, and then went for Trump in 2024. How are these folks seeing the early days of Trump's second term?
Pretty well.
Really?
And they're reacting to it because they love the pace of change.
Just what you were talking about.
They were very fed up over the last 4 years. They wanted action. They wanted results. They looked at prices. They looked at affordability, looked at immigration, and they didn't see anything happening. They still don't like what he says, but they like what he does. And these are Democrats now who felt that they were not securing the border. They were doing nothing to prevent illegal immigration, that nothing was actually happening. They wanted to see a reduction in wasteful Washington spending, and they're seeing that. So what they tell me is, I wish he would be a little bit less rude. But at the same time, they like what he's doing. They believe he's serious about it. And for the first time, they have confidence in the future, which is why you now see some significant shifts in the polling about the expectations for the direction in the coming years.
It's a big wake-up call for Democrats.
I'm waiting for them to get a message. I'm waiting for them to unify and to understand that to oppose and to be the resistance, which is what some of them use that phrase, that's not what Democrats in grassroots areas want from them. They may not want the approach that Trump is doing, President Trump. By the way, I now know to say President Trump. But they do want action, and they don't see action from the Democrats.
He gets his hair cut by the square yard.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. I don't know if I should shovel that off the side of the road or.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, talking about the pace at which things are getting done, that's what has a lot of Democrats saying, you know what? Okay, maybe I don't like him, but he's doing what we've always wanted somebody to do.
Yeah.
Right?
And by the way, he's moving at a pace, at least on DOGE, that even the staunchest reformers could never have imagined they'd see in their lifetime.
Yeah,
so far.
Yeah, and all his appointees are moving. I don't know if you guys saw this. I'll do it at the next break. But Pete Hegseth is on the move.
All right, we'll do that when we get back. Let me give you a couple real or fakes as we go to commercial. You can ponder them in the commercial break. First one, $1.5 million to study the effects of hostile language or hate speech on how produce ripens or turns faster under duress. $1.5 million to study the effects of hostile language or hate speech on how produce ripens or turns faster under duress.
That got squashed.
That's number one.
Come on.
Number two, $750,000 to equip Romanian investigators with the latest ghost detecting gadgets to promote cultural tourism by exploring the country's rich folklore of supernatural beings. So think about those two. Ones or twos in the chat. One if you think they're real. Two if you think they're
a package
fake.
deal.
Ooh, a lot of ones. A lot of ones.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you the answer when we get back right after this.
That one has a ghost of a chance.
Finally, somebody laughed at what you were supposed to. The third one he tried.
Nobody could rock a pun like
Test.
I'm not gonna lie, it's fantastic.
Is my mic not working, friend?
Everything's not working tonight.
Wow.
Everything's not working. Okay.
Man, what happened this weekend? Ghosts?
No, I think we have electrical issues.
Oh, there was
Pay the
power
bill?
outages.
Harry, pay the bill, Harry.
Maybe that's why the heater doesn't work.
Karen.
No, that's because we didn't pay the gas bill.
Harry.
Oh, okay.
$1.5 million to study the effects of hostile language or hate speech on how produce ripens or turns faster under duress. $750,000 to equip Romanian investigators with the latest ghost detecting gadgets to promote cultural tourism by exploring the country's rich folklore of supernatural beings.
Well, it's Romania.
I'm seeing a lot of ones and ones.
Isn't Dracula from there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Audiences.
I come to suck your budget.
I think so.
I'm
Yeah.
saying 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yes. You guys were on this one.
A Child of the King, another super chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
Child of the King from downtown. I didn't see that.
Okay,
Everyone
he's
just
on
came
it.
in. Look at that. Child of the King, Big D. Let me get to that Slick Rick summary there of the super chats. Child of the King 2025. Thank you. Isn't it amazing how we are watching everything falling right into place according to the word of God? It looks like it's falling apart, but in fact, it is falling right into place. Trust in Jesus and be at peace.
Amen.
Amen to that.
Amen.
Thank
I
you.
agree with a lot of that.
Oh, totally.
But what we haven't seen fall into place is the Republican congressional delegation on spending.
Broke spoke.
So far, the early numbers on the proposals are
Concerning?
not great.
Well, we're getting a mixed mash, ones and twos. And
Yeah.
A
twos
lot
and
of ones. 1 and 1,
Twos
1
and
and
ones.
1, 1 and 1, 1 and 1. See a lot of ones. 2 and 1, 2 and 1, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. See a lot of mixed mash. Yeah, confused on this one. They're tough. Very tough.
It can go either way.
Kind of like Frank Lunt's hair.
Oh, man. How you doing?
Oh, what's wrong with it?
That looks like a helmet. That come with a chin strap? That thing?
It does.
Oh, man, you guys are harsh.
Well, yeah.
Well, sound like the blues. Let me talk to you about our friends at Birch Gold. Have you seen the news from economists? Well, they're forecasting a depression. No, I said not a recession. I said depression. By the year 2030, we're in the perfect storm as Social Security and Medicare hit a breaking point. With the largest generation hitting retirement, a smaller workforce means a smaller tax base. Pair that with our growing national debt, rising cost of living, you've got yourself a huge problem. So what do you do now to protect yourself against the future? Well, gold, it's a safe haven in hard economic times, and Birch Gold makes it easy to diversify a portion of your retirement in gold. And they can transition you out of an existing 401k or IRA into an IRA in gold, and it won't cost you a penny out of pocket to do it. Protect your future today. Text the word America to the number 989898. You get a copy of The Ultimate Guide to Gold in the Trump Era with a foreword written by Donald Trump Jr. Birch Gold's earned the trust of countless Americans looking to safeguard their savings. You can count on them, too. Text the word America to 989898. See if Birch Gold and if gold is right for you. Text the word America to 989898. Do it today. All right, 18 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. And here with that is the Slickster. Slick Rick's got it. Slick, what's going on?
All right, let's go to the scoreboard. NCAA Women's Basketball Division 1. We have Notre Dame. That'd be number 1 Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish beat Duke tonight 64-49. West Virginia downs Kansas State 70-57. And in OT, number 8 Ohio State takes on Iowa and beat them 86-78. That was OT final. NCAA Men's Basketball right now. Number 3 Virginia has it well in command over Virginia. 51-33. 15 to go in the second half. Kansas State and Utah just on the way. NHL action. Sweden has now pulled ahead 2-1 with just over 17 minutes to go in the second period. So there is time there. But Sweden 2-1 over the United States. I don't ever say these games are meaningless because a lot of people there watching and Sweden's looking to get a win there. But it all comes down to Thursday night, right, Paul? It's going to be Canada and the USA in the championship game at the TD Garden. We'll have that. We'll be covering that live, hopefully, on the Thursday night. And we'll get to one quick story here. We got to wrap it up. William Byron captures second straight Daytona 500 victory in overtime lap thriller. A crash at the front with 1 lap to go allowed Byron to sneak up and capture the win. Scott Thompson of Fox News. William Byron won the Daytona 500, which was a marathon on Sunday night after rain delays and yellow caution flags ultimately led to overtime laps. And those 2 overtime laps were an absolute thrill that saw multiple spinouts and crashes that allowed Byron to win the Daytona 500 for the second consecutive year. 6 of the last 8 Daytona 500 races have ended in overtime, and like any overtime in sports, the desperation was felt by every driver to come out on top, but trying to get to the front of the pack led to a wreck at the front where Denny Hamlin's number 11 car was leading with 1 lap to go as Cole Custer and Chase Briscoe were trying to move ahead of him, but as Custer was on Hamlin's right, Briscoe bumped the back of the number 11 car, which ultimately led the 3-time Daytona 500 winner to spin out, hitting number 2 Austin Cindric on his left in the process. You following that, all boys? So
I watched it. Did you watch it?
Rubbing his racing.
I did not catch that one.
No. It was an insane last few laps. It always is.
Yeah.
But to see how he squeezed by as another car was about to T-bone him into the wall. It had to be just because he squeezed by, and that was just enough for him to get the win in Jeff Gordon's 24 car. That was pretty awesome.
Incredible.
Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy finish.
Yep, and Shaq's OGs won the NBA All-Star Game yesterday. Big D, the Big Shaq Attack, took the title there. I just really wasn't. It just didn't grab me.
What do you think of the new format?
I don't. It was a little more competitive, I thought, but I just didn't enjoy it. The other game is nobody plays defense and they just run the score up and down. It's 190 to 188. But so I like that. But I don't know. The All-Star Game has lost its luster to the NBA. I'm sorry. They just have.
I think the NBA's lost its luster overall.
Well, look at the way they went woke. Now they're going to go broke, right?
You know what, though?
Yep.
In terms of giving them the first one to 40, I think works better because then once it gets down to, in the 30s, then they're actually playing a little bit of defense.
Right.
Really trying to get
who won the
40.
whole, whatever the whole thing was? Who won?
Shaq's OGs.
And what do they get for caring?
They got a trophy. They probably got some capital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like
bonus.
What we're seeing with hockey, I mean, this is essentially the All-Star Game. Right, It's replaced the All-Star Game, and look at these guys hitting each other, fighting. There's no not playing defense.
No,
when it comes to hockey,
this is relentless hockey.
Yeah.
And,
I love this format. This is the complete opposite.
I mean, basketball could have done this, right? I mean, but USA would have blown everybody out if they played Europe or they played. I
don't know. I mean,
country by country.
You don't think the whole European
some of those teams
could
make it some noise?
That could be competitive.
Yeah, they could. We see it in the Olympics. They try to be competitive.
Yeah, but what the problem is the agents and everybody gets in the way. Don't get hurt.
Well, that's what's going on here. This has been a big debate for the NHL. A lot of teams were not happy about how competitive this was going to be, and guys getting hurt. Kachuk got hurt. Keith Kachuk's hurt. So that's
he did get hurt. That is a tough setback. But,
all right, let's get some news in here because we have Andy Mangione coming up from AMAC. He's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. So let's do some news. News is brought to you by our friends at 7Cells, 7cells.com. You're looking to grab your ivermectin, or they've got great stuff for health. over at Seven Cells, SEVENCELLS, 7cells, spelled out.com. Use code LFS6B at checkout. Delgado's got the news. What's going on?
All right. Well, another plane incident happening, this time up in Toronto.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah, this is a crazy story.
Man, you got out of Minneapolis. Right?
Don't have the video, but a badly hurt child is among the 8 people who were injured in this Delta Airlines flight that flipped upon arrival at Toronto's Pearson Airport. The airport confirmed on X that the incident occurred with the Delta flight from Minneapolis and that all 80 people and crew were accounted for. 1 passenger is critical. 7 others are hurt, paramedics said. Videos from the scene show the plane upside down on the snowy tarmac as the emergency workers hosed it down. The plane was somewhat obscured by the snow from the winter storm that hit Toronto over the weekend. Emergency teams responded, the airport said in a post. All passengers and crew are accounted for, and they're kind of hailing this that there's no deaths to report. That's probably the best thing that could be coming out of this. It's too early to say what caused the plane to flip, they say, but weather may have played a factor. According to the Meteorological Service of Canada, the airport was experiencing blowing snow and winds of about 32 to 40 miles an hour, gusting temperatures at about 16 degrees.
I think I saw a report that they said it was about 75 mile an hour winds as this plane was trying to land.
Really?
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe it gusted at that point.
You know something? I'll tell you, swear to God, this is true. We got up this morning, and we were going to go take a college tour. And I walked the dog outside. I went outside this morning with the dog, and my wife walked the dog. And I came back, and I said to her, man, I would not want to be flying today. The wind, we ended up not going because it was like I didn't know how we could do a tour. The wind was blowing 40 miles an hour in your face. It was 20 degrees.
Yeah.
And I said to her, boy, I would not, because we have friends who are flying tonight, actually, home from Florida. And I said, man, I would not want to be flying tonight. The wind today is absolutely brutal. And then I saw this report, and I thought, man, oh man, 75 miles an hour, and this plane was trying to land. And it's like one of those, I'm not a puddle jumper, as you can see it there, but it's not like a 747.
We're a 737.
Yeah, it's a smaller plane. I don't know how they decided they thought they could get this thing on the ground.
Like a 20 passenger, 24.
They said 80.
The decision making there has got to, I would think, have to be questioned.
Yeah, there you have it. Luckily, again, no deaths have been reported, thank God
is right.
Seems like everybody's going to make a recovery. There are at least, I know that this one report said 1 person in critical. Last I heard, it was 4 people were considered critical in the hospital, but no deaths. So.
And the people on the left who are posting things like, oh, thanks Trump for freezing out DEI air traffic controllers are really just the dumbest people maybe ever. They should be hosting on CBS Sunday morning.
Yep.
Spot on the view for you. I'm going to give the result of the 1s and 2s.
Plain stupid.
Oh, that's right. Oh, well, so our last 2, if you had 2 and 2, you're correct. Both were fake. More of them to come.
I don't know.
I didn't.
Read the chat.
Chat. Any super chats to talk about? Let's see. What do we got going on?
So, wow. How many do we have? We have 2,989 right now in the Twix.
Chat. What's going on?
We've got 1875 in the Rumble. And YouTube.
Oh, let me guess, 1,200.
1,213.
Yeah, because no matter what we do, it's 1,200.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think they shut everybody out after that. Jesus Perez loves that song. I love that song too. Fran picked some good ones out there.
SNL 50 music, Damon? I didn't see 1 second of any of it.
They did a Prince song, Prince cover.
Not 1 second.
I heard Tom Hanks made a fool of
SNL hasn't
himself.
been funny to me in Chevy Chase left.
40 years.
Yeah. It's just painful to try to watch that.
Get all the libs there. Gosh. Jimmy Fallon was on there. Seth Meyers, another drip. I can't stand. He's. I don't know how the hell he's got his show.
Ron Klein on YouTube. What's going on? Ron and Norma.
Yeah, Ron and Norma. Good YouTubers.
Some people say they should rename. They should rename Gaza Largo. GWW 9547.
I heard Maragaza too.
Maragaza.
That's a good one.
Yes, Motoron. I agree. Worst toupee ever. He's talking about Frank Luntz.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a toupee?
It is?
Yeah. I think the Flex Seal Glue is his sponsor. Sponsors his segment.
Kind of looked like that thing that was digging through my trash over the summer.
Oh, the awesome possum?
I thought he was Maury from Goodfellas.
And he jumps in the pool.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night, getting a brand new week started. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's doing the news. Paul Nolan's got some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Make sure you head over to livefromstudio6b.com and sign up to be a member there, where you can get all the past shows, all the past segments, all of our merch over there. One place, livefromstudio6b.com. Please welcome back to the show the Senior Vice President of AMAC Action, one of our faves, Andy Mangione. Andy, how are you?
Doing well, Damon. How are you guys doing?
Very, very good. Always appreciate you giving us a few moments to join us here. A lot of action in Washington. I was just talking about how Trump's moving on what they called the American greatness today, called not warp speed, but Trump speed, and that's even faster than warp speed. And the left really can't find its footing and how to react to. He's moving from one thing to another so fast they can't find their footing on what they want to push back on. Obviously, there's been a flurry of legislation in the new Congress. A lot still to come. We still have to see what the Republicans are going to do through reconciliation. What kind of legislation has AMAC been supporting so far in this Congress?
Well, you're right, Damon. It's been a flurry of activity, and we're trying to keep up. AMAC counts many veterans among our membership, and we've supported legislation that preserves telehealth services for veterans. We've supported a bill that cuts through red tape when veterans are seeking housing assistance, a bill that preserves the Second Amendment rights for veterans, and legislation that improves timely access to health care for veterans. We've also supported legislation that would allow Americans to exercise their right to carry firearms in public spaces without facing excessive government interference. And we supported another important bill, Damon, that would codify one of President Trump's campaign promises, and that is to end the tax on Social Security. It's been a flurry of activity.
Yeah, and as you look at all of those priorities that you just outlined, is there early feedback on what some of the results from AMAC Action's support of these are? Is there still work to do? Do you see some stronger than others, more work in some of the others? Tell me about that.
Well, it's a balancing act right now. We've been very fortunate. The AMAC-supported Laken-Riley Act was signed into law by President Trump. In fact, it was the first bill that he signed into law during his second term. And if you recall, this bill mandates that illegal aliens who've committed crimes remain in custody so they can't be released to reoffend. Another AMAC-supported bill that classifies Schedule I drug and ensures that law enforcement agencies can effectively prosecute fentanyl traffickers just passed the House, and it's being well received in the Senate right now. It's got a decent chance to pass there, too.
We're speaking with Andy Mangione from AMAC. Of course, you can go to amac.us/Studio6B, amac.us/Studio6B, where you can get I think it's a 5-year AMAC membership for about 47% off, normally $60. You can get it today for only $32. And man, what you get with that, so much comes with the AMAC membership. So if you haven't yet, go to amac.us/Studio6B. Andy, does AMAC's action support state legislation as well?
Absolutely, we do. We try to cover the country to the best of our ability. We're currently tracking many bills on the state level that range from election integrity, school choice, drug safety issues, tax issues. So we've got a presence in all 50 states, Damon.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, what are some of the state level things you're supporting? But you just named some of them. Is there anything else?
Absolutely. We've supported a bill to stop ranked choice voting in Kansas, other bills to stop the influence of foreign money in state ballot issues in Kentucky and Missouri, a bill to expand tax relief for seniors in Washington state as well. Now we're trying to get that Kentucky bill heard in the state Senate. The Kansas bill looks like it could go through both chambers, and we're trying to get the Missouri bill out of committee. So we've been very, very busy.
Yeah, it sounds like it. There's a lot of work to do. Everybody's moving at Trump speed, moving fast. Again, you can go to amac.us/Studio6B, amac.us/Studio6B. 5-year AMAC membership for 47% off, normally $60, and today only $32. Man, I encourage you to do it right now tonight. If you haven't done it, amac.us/Studio6B. You get so much more with it as well. AMAC Magazine, exclusive discounts on other things like travel and things. So check them out, amac.us/Studio6B. Andy, always a pleasure to have you on. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Andy Mangione from AMAC, amac.us/Studio6B. Man, if you're going to join, that's the place you want to spend your money. You get so much, and you know you're spending it with somebody who represents your values. Not funding the left like that other one does. I'll tell you that. So, all right, 35 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some. Should we do some news, or should we throw out a couple more real or fake?
Do another real.
All right, let's do another real or fake, and then we'll do some news. Well, I mean, $6.3 million to study men having sex with other men in South Africa. $6.3 million to study men having sex with other men in South Africa. That's number one.
God.
That's number one. And then number two, $500,000 to host an international cheese rolling event on the slopes of the Himalayas, combining sport with dairy product promotion. That's number two. $500,000 to host an international cheese rolling event on the slopes of the Himalayas, combining combining sport with dairy product promotion. That's number two.
You sure that's not what's going on in South Africa as well?
Oh, boy.
Let's do some news, and here with the news is Rick Delgado. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, speaking of the whether it's real or fake, here is Newt Gingrich talking about the Democrats' freak out over what's being exposed with DOGE and, of course, the work of Elon Musk and the people he's got working with him to find all this waste, fraud, and abuse. Newt Gingrich, cut 5, talking about the Democrats and why they're freaking out. Cut 5.
On here with the Democrats. The first is they are watching with terror as all the different sources of government money that has propped them up for the last 60 or 70 years, all of it is now being challenged by President Trump and by Elon Musk. I mean, this cuts at the very base of their coalition. And if they can't bribe people, if they can't act corruptly, if they can't take care of their friends, their entire coalition is going to collapse. Second, you have a very large part of the Democratic Party for whom the beliefs you were describing, transgenderism, for example, are religious beliefs. This is a secular religion. They can't unlock because they believe these things. They believe in an open border. They believe that there really is no such thing as America. They believe that it's really good to have millions of people flood into this country. It's really good to have people who don't have to work, that work requirements are inherently bad. All of these things are a semi-religious or religious belief system, and that's why they can't unlock. It's not rational. They can't sit down and do a common sense analysis. They're instead trapped into being for things that are profoundly unpopular with most Americans.
Yeah. So there you have it, kind of breaking it down why the Democrats, they are freaking out as much as they are over their money laundering schemes being exposed.
Right, and you think about how the White House under Biden and Kamala was fully split down the middle, right? They were fully divided and fractured. We saw Biden put on his Make America Great hat. We saw Jill wearing her red dress there was a major fracturing there. And then you factor in their Rent the Riot funding is gone. USAID was funding so many lies, so much Mockingbird 2.0 lies, the endless regurgitation of nonsense stories that were just pummeled through Politico and all these other advocacy groups. So they're in trouble. They're going to be reeling, and this kills them because now they can't get their social programs.
Yeah, and especially in different parts of the government, like the education department, where they've just canceled another $350 million in contracts and grants. The cancellations came after anti-DEI activist Christopher Rufo, another great follow on X, posted on social media about the programs. The U.S. Education Department canceled those 10 contracts with the regional educational laboratories, totaling $336 million and a further $33 million of grants to equity assistance centers. Boy, that sounds educational. The decision announced last Friday appears to be another example of Elon Musk's Department of Government efficiency slashing the department's activities and of anti-diversity, equity, and inclusion activist Christopher Rufo continuing his influence. The cut also means part of the Trump administration's crusade against the programs could be considered DEI related, but it's unclear what all the canceled contracts and grants were actually for. February 10th, the Trump administration said it canceled nearly $900 million in education science contracts. Then on Thursday night, in a news release, the U.S. Department of Education canceled an additional $350 million of woke spending. So a lot of money being cut out of some of these agencies that, let's face it, for one reason or another, somehow along the way, these things get started. They get, all intents and purposes probably were good intent, but they turn into these money laundering schemes that encompass large portions of our federal government.
I mean, I just saw something here that from, I don't know if you guys, Gateway has, on Monday, Elon Musk's DOGE revealed the federal government didn't trace $4.7 trillion in payments. The $4.7 trillion in payments were left blank, making it nearly impossible to trace. I guess the federal government is arguing that it will be traceable, it's just going to take longer, but they leave these things blank, and you just have to wonder why. I think the Treasury Access symbol, the TAS, is an identification code linking a Treasury payment to a budget line item, which is a standard financial process. In the federal government, the TAS field was optional for minus $4.7 trillion in payments, which makes it legitimately or almost virtually impossible to track $4.7 trillion. So I personally believe the next thing DOGE will be going after will be the military industrial complex, and God knows what kind of money has been lost there.
Yeah, and not only that, but I think they have access now to the IRS. They're going after the IRS as well.
That is true. So, I mean,
I saw something that they're looking to lay off 15 to 19,000 IRS employees. Is that the number that I saw floating around there?
Something like that, yeah.
And the halt on the 70,000 they were going to add on. So
I wish the president would make a little more clear on. I mean, I keep saying he kind of walks around the line, up to the line on the on his tariff. Maybe he's waiting to see how the tariffs, but where he's going to be fall on the income on federal income tax and the IRS.
And hopefully the External Revenue Service is a thing, because the IRS is. I mean, they're a Gestapo.
I think it's good if it's a thing in replacement of the IRS. If it's just another government bureaucracy,
no, I'm with you.
I can't see how it's going to be
we
great.
don't need another bureaucracy. It's the whole point of this. Get rid of them.
Speaking of, we were doing real or fake tonight, and the last two I gave the audience. The audience has done well tonight.
Yeah.
This is not easy. This one was a little tougher. And I saw a lot of 2 and 2s in this one, and I hate to tell you, but that's incorrect. The first one I gave you was $6.3 million to study men having sex with other men in South Africa, and I saw a lot of 2s on this one, and I'd love to be able to tell you are correct, but unfortunately you're not. That is a 1.
Yeah.
That is in the line item.
I had 1.
And P. Diddy is not in charge of it.
P. Diddy is not in charge of it, although it is a 1. $500,000 to host an international cheese rolling event on the slopes of the Himalayas, combining sport with dairy product promotion, which is very well thought through promotion. Unfortunately, that one is a 2.
Yeah, that was fake.
So that one is.
Damon was hungry when
that one's gooted.
Yeah,
that one's out of
no MSG.
All right, we'll do some more.
That's a good one.
Wrap it up for a Monday night. Right after this.
This last segment coming up already?
Yeah.
Damn.
Let's do a couple in here.
Definitely.
All right, here we go, folks. 1 or 2. We'll go through a bunch here. Well, not a bunch, but a couple. $2 million to promote tourism to Lebanon, which has been seen by critics as an odd priority given the region's political and security situation. $2 million to promote tourism to Lebanon.
Come on.
1 or 2. 1 or 2.
I can see that as a 1.
More.
Yeah.
1 or 2.
Hey, hun, want to go hiking
Slick?
in Lebanon?
Where are you?
Yeah, I got to say 2. No more
Delgado?
for me.
I say 1.
Paul?
It's a 1.
It is a 1.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's real.
Wow.
Yep.
That is real.
It's so much lunacy here.
All right. $20 million was invested in creating a localized version of Sesame Street in Iraq to promote education and cultural understanding.
That's true. That's 1.
$20 million invested in creating a localized version of Sesame Street in Iraq. Slick, 1 or 2?
That's a 2.
Delgado?
That's a 1.
Paul?
That's definitely a 1.
That is definitely a 1, as the audience knows.
And the 1.
We've all heard that one in the news. That is a 1.
There goes my streak. I'm going right down the tubes now.
Feels like football season again, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what happens. Get on a roll, and that's
all right, let's do one more here. $2 million on kits including oversized boots, night vision goggles, and hair sample collection tubes to encourage the local communities to engage in Bigfoot tourism.
That's got to be a 2.
You had me up until Bigfoot.
$2 million. $2 million on
I knew
kits.
he wrote it specifically for me.
$2 million on kits, including oversized boots, night vision goggles, and hair sample collection tubes to encourage local communities to engage in Bigfoot tourism.
Come on. Can't be right.
It's not right.
Just
1 or 2. Slick, 1 or 2.
It's got to be a 2. Come on.
Delgado?
That's a 2.
Paul?
Well, you don't need that kind of money. You just come to Studio 6B and you look at the big guy next to me.
That's right.
And just grab a hair sample from
Like Yeti.
He foots the bills here.
Okay, that's a 2.
Thank
Congratulations
gosh.
to everybody.
God. Oh, man. That's complete lunacy.
See, now, if you would have used the word Sasquatch, you might have gotten more people.
Oh, Delgado's, he's got pinpointing it. You start using official names. Different. Yeah, it's.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B. Here we'll get to all the guys here as we wrap it up for a Monday last segment. Let me give you the remaining real or fake USAID expenditures tonight. Everybody's been doing fairly well. All credit on this to Paul Nolan, whose idea was this. He thought this would be a great idea, and it has been a great idea.
Yeah.
So very nice, Mr. Nolan.
Yep.
Let me give you a couple left here. 1 for real, 2 for fake. $1.5 million on programs promoting DEI in Serbian workspaces. $1.5 million on programs promoting DEI in Serbian workspaces. 1 or 2 on that. And then I'll give you this one as well. $6.7 million to teach baboons, specifically across sub-Saharan Africa, to use condoms. $6.7 million to teach baboons, specifically across sub-Saharan Africa.
Sub-Saharan.
What was the rub on that
Africa,
one?
to use condoms. That's number 2.
Oh, my God.
And I'll give you one more here at the start, and then I'll give you a couple at the end.
Please. These are riveting.
You have your numbers for those?
Yeah.
All right, one more to throw in the mix.
All right. A bonus.
I really wish Aaron was mic'd up.
Here's a bonus.
Just read the substance. You're supposed to keep this show on the rails, Damon. What are you doing?
Slick's got me all screwed up. $1.2 million on a conference teaching the art of underwater basket weaving to promote sustainable tourism and also see if the baskets could be made waterproof enough for marine life to nest in them. That's your third one.
That sounds like a fish story.
$1.2 million on a conference teaching the art of underwater basket weaving to promote sustainable tourism and also to see if the baskets could be made waterproof enough for marine life to nest in them.
Maybe we should ask Frank Luntz about that one.
Let's do a little more sports. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slickster, what do you got?
All right, we're going to wrap up the scoreboard. One more sweet Big D. One game in action right now, and that would be Kansas State over Utah, 26-25, 3 to go there in the first. And, well, here we go. Second period just wrapped up. Sweden continues to lead the USA 2-1 in essentially a meaningless game, although it'd be nice to really run the table for the USA and win this one. Going strong for Thursday night's big championship showdown with Team Canada in the Boston TD Garden. So 2-1 going into the third. Maybe USA can get a score, but Sweden's playing great defense there. And earlier tonight, Canada did win, and they're going in strong with a 5-3 win over Finland. And they were already talking about Canada says we could beat these guys. So they're already talking smack, Paul. I'm sure there'll be a lot of headlines tomorrow and Wednesday going into this big game. And just one quick story, just to wrap up from last night. Didn't get a lot of good ratings, I'll tell you that, the NBA All-Star game. But a good story came out of it. College student wins $100,000 after beating NBA All-Star in three-point contest. Jaron Barras was surprised by tickets the day of the NBA All-Star game by his father, Michael. Scott Thompson of Fox News. A life-changing moment will never be forgotten by 18-year-old college student Jaron Barash, who can add to his young resume that he beat a perennial NBA All-Star in a three-point contest. Jaron Barash won the Mr. Beast logo shot challenge on Sunday as he nailed a shot from deep to not only beat Milwaukee Bucks star Damian Lillard, but also win $100,000. This is going to mean the world to me. It's going to help my family and a lot, and definitely my future. Barash told the AP report, hopefully it'll help me pay for my education, which it will. Barash needed just to hit one shot from deep while Lillard was tasked with hitting 3 logo three-pointers. With the clock winding down, Barash threw one up as the buzzer sounded, and the multicolored ball splashed through the hoop. He picked up $100,000. Talk about a bank shot, huh, Big D? And really good stuff there. So he said his father got the tickets last minute for him, and when he found the ticket prices looking good, and there he was with the opportunity of a lifetime, $100,000 for that young man, banking the ball off the backboard into the net and beating Damian Lillard. And that's a wrap in sports, Big D. Back
All right,
to
Slick,
you.
what was your numbers on the last 3 I gave in the real or fake USAID expenditures?
There was
I gave
3.
What were your numbers?
I'm going to say
$1.5 million promoting DEI in Serbian workspaces.
That's 1.
6.7 on sub-Saharan Africa to use condoms, baboons, teaching baboons.
1.
And a $1.2 million on a conference teaching the art of underwater basket weaving to promote sustainable tourism and see if the baskets can be made waterproof enough for marine life to nest in them.
I'm going 1 on all 3s. I'm going on all 3.
1-1-1?
Yep.
Delgado?
1-1-2.
1-1-2. Paul?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with, the sub-Saharan
condoms.
I'm looking for numbers, Paul.
I'm going to go with 2.
Okay, so
and the basket weaving is a 2.
Okay.
And I believe the 1.5 was real.
Serbian workspaces.
And I almost wish they would teach baboons to put on condoms.
That was the rub on that one.
It's all so stupid.
The correct answer is 1, 2, 2.
Oh,
damn.
Serbian workspaces was true.
Oh.
Baboons in the Sub-Sahara was false.
Oh, okay, I got that wrong.
And underwater basket weaving, believe it or not, was false as well.
Can't believe it.
Oh, I had him out of water.
So I have 2 left. 2 left. Final 2 of the night. $3 billion to study the airspeed velocity of unladen African and European swallows. One more time. $3 billion.
Does that have anything to do with the last segment over there?
$3 billion to study the airspeed velocity of unladen African and European swallows, and $1 million allocated to organize a league where participants would compete in the art of napping with the goal of promoting mental health and stress reduction through sanctioned siestas. Those are your final 2 of the night. $3 billion to study the airspeed velocity of unladen African and European swallows, and $1 million allocated to organize a league where participants would compete in the art of napping with the goal of promoting mental health and stress reduction through sanctioned siestas.
Sanctioned siestas.
Paul, any other news you didn't cover tonight?
No, that's the point.
Delgado, any other news we haven't covered
lost
yet?
the show.
Yeah, this one I think we'll get a kick out of. D.C. housing market in chaos as federal employees panic, and I wonder why that is. The Trump administration is upending the D.C. housing market, according to a new Redfin report that shows uncertainty is growing in the city among buyers and homeowners. This is also having rippling effects across the landscape in terms of real estate prices in Northern Virginia, which has a huge D.C. population. Since President Trump's inauguration January 20th, he and billionaire Elon Musk, who leads the Department of Government Efficiency, have moved swiftly to cut the size of federal government, limiting new hiring and firing thousands of workers. On Thursday, the Department of Veteran Affairs, which provides health care for veterans, said it had to lay off more than 1,000 employees from their probationary periods. At the same time, Politico reported the U.S. Forest Service is set to dismiss another 3,000 workers as they shrink the size of the federal government. Redfin agents in D.C., where there's a high concentration of federal workers, have found the city's housing market has now gone into chaos, as people don't know if they're about to be fired.
I love it.
So there you have it.
I love it. These fat cats have been living like kings off of our dime for too long.
Exactly. So
well, we ended the night here with a real ripper because
tough one to swallow.
Yeah, I saw very few of the correct answer, which was 2 and 2.
Oh,
on the final 2 of the night.
See, and I had 2 and 1. At least I knew the first one was a trick question because there are no such things as swallows in that part of the world.
2 and 2 wraps up the night. That just shows you.
It was a Monty Python line. I stole that from Monty Python.
What they're doing with our money is good. Hard to distinguish between just craziness and reality. As always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines protecting us. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron Frank, great job as always. Most of all, thank you, the live from Studio 6B audience. Great participation tonight from everybody. Thank you very much. I hope you all did well. And I hope you all take an underwater basket weaving class at some point. All right, we'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. right here live from Studio 6B.